Welcome back to Turf Talk, 3-year-old edition. Ed DeRosa alongside Scott Shapiro, talking Road to the Kentucky Derby presented by Woodford Reserve. Scott, we've already touched on Good Magic, who's in the Fountain of Youth, and Turf Talk, and On Point. This is Turf Talk. Thought we could look at the other 3-year-olds. I know you recently wrote a blog, East versus West. Good Magic waving the banner of the East Coast horses, but a lot of talent out west.
Yeah, there is a lot of talent out west. I'm not sure I've seen that horse yet, if you will. You know, McKenzie's the horse I've kind of was hyping up for a while now, and pushed him in the first future Derby pool. But I'm not still convinced that he's going to get a mile and a quarter. Salamini, I'm not as high on as others. Baffert's just loaded. You have Justify.
Right.
And Restoring Hope's a horse that I'm interested to see how he progresses in his next start. A little bit off the the wire there below what most people have as the top Baffert horses, but. Outside of Baffert, you have a couple Hollendorfer horses, and I don't think it's the strongest group, but it's a tight group of horses that there should be several in the starting gate at the very least.
Yeah, I would think so. We'll see some big names next week. Again, Good Magic this week, Bolt Deorro next week, first and third in the Breeders Cup Juvenile, and Bolt Deorro to me even a bigger enigma than Good Magic. Quasi upset at the time at 13-1, but given what Good Magic and the connections, I mean, really no surprise that they would get a horse at that level. But Bolt Deorro, third, I forget if he was odds on or even money, but obviously burned a lot of money, and people eager to see how he comes back. And not every workout report has been A+, so to speak.
No, and he struggled to get out of the gate in the work once again, which is a problem to me. I am, as you know, not super high on his chances of even necessarily making the gate, let alone winning the race. The hiccups in training are always a concern, especially for a trainer that's never been in this spot before. Obviously, the talent's there. The horse is a great-looking animal, can clearly get the distance with the right conditioning. But at this point, I'm in a fade mode on Bolt Deorro.
Yeah, and I didn't take it as a good sign that he drifted in the Win future book. Usually the chalk, there's so much exposure that, even if things are maybe going in the wrong direction, they sort of maintain that price. And the fact that Johnny's willing to take some action on him at twice the price he was a few weeks ago doesn't speak too highly of him. You mentioned the gate issues, and some people certainly Mick Ruiz is no Bob Baffert, I guess, is the road I'm trying to get to. And if he were trained by Baffert, he'd probably be a clear favorite right now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Ruiz is 2 for 35 or so at the meet right now at Santa Anita, not running that well after having a good end to last year at Del Mar especially. So yeah, I have serious questions. If Bob Baffert trained Bolt Deorro, I think, like you said, we'd be looking at the favorite. I don't know if I'd be as concerned. I mean, obviously the Win is where sharp money comes in a lot. I just don't see a lot of sharp handicappers flocking to a horse by Mick Ruiz that's missed time. So if he runs well in his next race, I think things will change a lot.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we've talked about the coast, haven't really touched on flyover country yet. Got a big upset, not only on the Win end, but in the Exacta and the Risen Star. Marino in the Southwest was bad. I don't think we'll see him going on with it. And Baffert's talking about sending at least one of his big guns, McKenzie or Salamini, to the Rebels. So what do you make of the group that's based in the Midwest?
I think it's an okay group. Obviously, the Risen Star was a little disappointing. Yeah. The Arkansas race I thought was a strong race. Sporting Chance to me ran a good comeback race. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does next. My boy Jack, who I liked in that race, I need to see more still to think that he's a contender in the Derby. He had a good setup, came up the inside over a sloppy track. A lot of those things might not happen his next couple starts.
Might be sloppy at Derby, though.
It could be. Let's hope not, but it could be.
Keith and Ken are lights out on the slop together.
The rumor has it.
Well, I thought the number came back strong. Obviously, it was on the right part of the track and inside, but I do have him 10th in my top 10. I feel like the West Coast is good. He shipped in and got the money, so I definitely have some respect there. And we know Kent, good Derby rider, is going to put his horse in a position to win.
Yeah, when he's on top of his game, he's probably my favorite rider around. And in terms of Moreno, I know they made a few excuses. Have they specifically taken him off the trail, like with the slop?
Yeah.
And I mean, I've never been a fan, but Van Dyke made a couple excuses. After
Yeah,
the
I mean, I
race.
think if he didn't have Justify the day before, and now he's pointing to Sunland, maybe Marino goes on with it and would have gone to a race like the Sunland Derby. But I mean, with Baffert having to juggle who he has, I don't see how you could say Marino belongs with that trio.
Oh, I absolutely
Or
agree.
really
that
the
he does
quartet
not.
with Restoring Hope.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. I was wondering if they were going to send him back out there with Salamini or
Yeah,
McKenzie.
I mean, maybe, but
Not for you. Huh?
no. I mean, I'm embarrassed I even picked him to win the race. I mean, that's how bad he was. But
It's all right. You've had worse.
I have had worse.
So have I.
Saarland, Giacomo, and the Belmont. Yeah, there's a long rap sheet of bad picks. Well, hopefully we'll have good picks the rest of the way. Thank you for joining us, and look forward to having you here in Kentucky soon.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. All right, this has been Turf Talk, 3-Year-Old Edition.